We'll see.
Okay.
I'll find that out. But we are live, and all right, Steve, I'm turning your mic on.
Woogie.
There you go. Oh, let's see. We'll see.
All right.
That works.
You got a scale on that at all?
Sorry?
Said you got a scale on that to see whether it's receiving or not?
Yeah, it's on. Let me just double check that power's on. Yeah, power's on.
Okay.
We have one viewer so far. 2 viewers.
Hey, it was worth it.
Success. That is already above the 1. That is fantastic.
Hey, 100% improvement.
Absolutely. Doubled. Literally doubled in mere moments.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This video will be posted to YouTube afterwards. Got 3 viewers.
There we go. That. Okay.
He's always calling me. I'm going to call him.
Say what?
He's always calling me. I'm going to call him and say, hey, where are you?
Yeah, tell him to get his butt over here. I talk nice. It's officially 1 o'clock now? All right. Well, in that case, we will go ahead and get started for our 54th annual general meeting. Time flies when you're having fun. So, first off, as usual, we want to kind of introduce the officers of the council and the rest of the appointed officers that are here today. So, my partner in crime first is our Vice President, Father Ron Murray, and our, let's see, our other council member is on his way here. Will be introduced when he shows up in as embarrassing a manner as I can think of at the time. Oh, all right. Other officers that we have present, our AGM coordinator in training,
Her name is
Michaela Thomas, and former secretary Mary Murray, and behind the camera, our social media manager, Darren Yon. Come put your face in front of the camera. All right. So, moving on. Secretary's not here, don't have a secretary's report. Did she pass anything on to you for that?
No.
No? Okay.
I can
Okay.
She'll speak incoherently for a little bit and then take notes. And then we'll approve it.
Okay.
We had a meeting about 2 weeks ago that covered the information, or you're talking about last year's AGM?
It would be about last year's
Last
AGM.
year's AGM, we went through all of the various departments that we talked about today, and had an update about how each group was. Thank you, Darren. We had the groups and how they were performing and what was happening with each of these. So as we're going through these just going to be updating what was updated last year again. So the various advantages and improvements and so forth are going to be talked about today.
Okay. Treasury report. Unfortunately, JD couldn't make it. His flight got canceled last night and couldn't get another flight out, so he is mourning his loss down in Tampa right now. So hopefully drying out as well. But he did submit his annual treasurer's report, and I'll read that now. 2020 was a year of recovery as dues for new members were up over 50% and renewals were increased more than $1,000. Total receipts broke 10,000 for the first time, letting us do some things we haven't done before. We were able to supplement the money members have donated to maintain our heritage through education and preservation. We also doubled the amount used to attend festivals and games to acquaint people with the heritage many didn't even know was theirs. A couple of things about what happens in the office. Our society, like all corporations, must have a representative in the state where we are incorporated. For many years, Gene Small has done this for us in Delaware. This year, he was able to relinquish that burden when we contracted with Harvard Business Services to provide that function for us and keep us updated on corporate and government actions that might affect us. An event we are watching is the purchase of our bank, TIAA, by Evergreen Bank last year. To date, we have seen no changes to their service that cause concern, and they can continue to operate under the TIAA brand. For more information, see the Treasurer's Report last published in the AGM. And just a quick recap. So as of December 31st, 2021, remembering we're reporting on 2022, the opening balance was $13,621, and by the end, after expenses for Aetion and clan tents, etc., plus the influx of dues, we are sitting at $30,007,900. So now I would like to real quick introduce our delinquent council member here, Paul Murray, who was not able to attend it at the beginning of our meeting. Okay, next up, the Canadian reports. You have to give me a second to find it. I got, ooh, there we go. Okay, Canadian report from Bill Murray, who's located in Victoria, British Columbia. The membership stands at 1 emeritus member, 1 life member, 2 associate members, and 25 regular members in Canada. And that includes both Toronto and British Columbia. Bill writes, the Murray Clan tent was set up and manned at 4 British Columbia cities. The BC cities were Victoria, Coquitlam. Okay, what he said. Pennington and Campbell River. Murray Clan tent was also set up in Fergus, Ontario. I would like to thank my assistant commissioners for the help in British Columbia, Ted Leaker and Ian Murray, and Ontario Assistant Commissioner Carol Pattenden, and my Ontario Commissioner Stan Fleming. Yours I, Bill Murray, Canada Representative. And that is our Canadian report. Next is the newsletter, which I will summarize. So, let me see. Let me read the first paragraph. I'd like to thank the council once again for continuing to support me as AGM editor. also aka Atheon. Since this quarterly publication is the only connection most members have with the society and the single tangible benefit they receive for paying dues, I take my job seriously. And as I have done in past AGM council meetings, I want to report on circulation trends and publishing costs and content. So, circulation trends, let me see. Okay, there's 326 copies being sent out to U.S. members, 25 copies to Canadian members. 10 go to our membership chairman to go out in new member packets. 2 copies each to our commissioners, of which we have 24. And 1 copy each to our 9 overseas members, patrons, and friends of the society. In 2022, the cost of publishing was $6,476, which, if you look at our treasurer's report, is the #1 expense line item that we have in our budget. So we make sure that this newsletter is something that is of value to everybody, because, as Doug says, is the one thing that people get in their hands to prove that they're members. Let's see. Okay. Publishing costs continue to increase. Unfortunately, went up 25% last year, but the society covered the increase without passing it on to the members at this point. Content. I trust the Atheon meets the society's needs. I include in each issue regular feature articles like President's Letter, Canada Calling, Commissioner Reports, and a 4-month calendar of upcoming Celtic festivals, events, holidays, except in 2022. He also publishes the Chief's Augmenay message. Let's see, each spring issue has both the U.S. and Canadian membership and treasurer's reports, as well as a listing of members and donors for both the general and Juniper Fund, and publish AGM information beforehand to allow people and membership to attend the AGMs. And if you want something changed, just let me know. So check your Atheon, your Achin on the inside cover, and if you want to get hold of Doug, he is very responsive. Go ahead and drop him an email, and you will hear from Doug very quickly. All right. Next, membership report. Membership. Oop, there it goes. Okay, the membership for 2022. Last year we lost 29 members because they did not want to renew. 2 passed away. We gained 28 members as of August 1st for the first 8 months of the year. So we still have the rest of this year for new members to come in. Our current membership count as of August 1st was 361 members. You add in our Canadian membership of, 29? So we're up to 390 members in North America. It wasn't that long ago we were at 290. So we are continuing to grow. And other clans are seeing pullback, etc. But we have a slow, steady growth. We keep adding people on every year. And this is a good, slow growth that we can maintain. And we don't have to worry about surges and then people backing off. A lot of this is due to membership and to all of our commissioners out there. Getting our name out, attending festivals, getting people fired up about their heritage, and gently reminding when it comes time to renew to send in your dues. And if you're late, you'll get a little nudge. And if you're still late, you'll get another little nudge, and so on and so forth. And that personal touch, though, is what keeps the numbers down. Just kind of as an FYI, I did membership many years ago. And when we were back with a lesser number, we were dropping almost twice this number on an annual not renewed. So this personal touch of phone calls makes a world of difference. And so that's Wayne Murray, who couldn't make it today. Okay. Next coming up from membership is the Juniper Fund. Okay. So as of the end of Q1, which is end of May, the balance of the Juniper, beginning balance of this year, was $31,427. Through investment gains and donations, minus our service fees to the Berks County Charitable Trust Foundation, minus what we gave out this year in grants, our current balance is sitting at $3,541. So even after giving away our grants, $31,541. So despite fees plus giving away the grants, our balance currently is higher than we started the year with. So we still have 4 more months to go in this year, which will be pure gain, and will go towards next year's grant. So we're doing in pretty well right now. And speaking of those grants, we gave out 5 grants this year. We gave out one to Barrett again, and if you've been looking at your Achin, you know Barrett well. She's a dancer from California, world class. Last year she moved up from youth into adult and took second place worldwide. We have also been sponsoring a family of dancers, again out of California, the Kraus family. And Colton, Weston, and Ailey. Yeah, I got it that time. Are siblings, all of the same family, that love dancing. And so we are supporting them with grants as well. And for the first time, we actually supplied a grant to a non-dancer, besides Kluge Castle, to the Kutztown Pipe Band. So we're actually broadening things out. We're getting more applications in as word begins to get around, and that's what we're looking for. So as the fund grows and we get more applications, we can actually give out more money to more people. And that's what we're all about here. Now the current selection panel has completed its term, and we will be seating a whole new panel, and I'm going to need 6 volunteers, 1 from each of our regions. And so I will be calling and finding out who would be interested in sitting on the panel, so that next year we can give out even more money. All right, that's Juniper Fund. Sutler's Report. Oh, wait a minute.
Sheila from Alaska, just because she's watching.
Yeah.
She said that she will volunteer to be on Juniper Fund if you would like her. Sorry, what?
Thank you.
Sheila from Alaska.
One
is
down.
Watching, and she would like to volunteer for Juniper Fund. Thanks, Sheila.
I have to think a little more, but I didn't think about doing that for you.
Okay, Sutler's report. This is from Jim Piper down in Florida. He kind of sent this on his way out the door because a hurricane was coming. If you're on, Jim, thank you. Okay, here's Sutler's report for last year. Teespring, The Spring, formerly Teespring, website is continuing as before. To date, since the opening of the storefront in January 2021, we've made $562 in profit from all sales. On April 14, 2023, a payout was made to the treasurer's PayPal account of the amount of $508. Since that time, we have made an additional $54 in profit due to recent sales. The money is still in the Teespring account. These monies represent pure profit from sales. The advantage of this platform has been very apparent, as no inventory or constant shipping need be done, and more colors and styles can be made available. Sales are still relatively slow, but seem to be picking up. Continued promotion by district and state commissioners and those running tents at games is highly encouraged to continue the growth. Please remind all Clan members that they get a 15% discount, and the code is automatically tied to their membership if they access the storefront through the Clan site. The same goes for all council, district, and state commissioners for their 25% discount. Prices were recently bumped up to account for increased material costs. Most items went up $2 to $3, and a couple of more expensive items went up $5 or $6. This allows for us to break even when the 25% discount is used, and a minimal profit when the Clan members use this code. There are several new items available to design from Teespring, but the only ones I think work for us are windbreaker and coaches style jacket. I'd be happy to design them and put them up with whichever design is desired on front. There's also a foam style trucker hat available, whatever that is. A request has been made to look at putting on a polo shirt, but Spring does not offer that. If that is something that has a lot of interest, I can work that through normal purchasing methods. As always, if any other crests, designs, etc. are desired, please submit ideas to the council for approval, and I'd be happy to get them on the site. Thank you. Yours, James Piper Sutler. Okay.
It was a gift.
Thank you. Oh.
You're taking alcohol from random strangers now?
Thank you, ma'am.
What is it?
It came from Scottish lemonade.
If it came from the Donahue's, okay.
Okay, so not
Okay.
totally random strangers.
All right. So, Sutler, webmaster report.
Can I take my little cup over?
Okay. So, webmaster. The website has continued to grow this year. We currently have 269 active members with a website account and are receiving around 450 users to the website every month. We have 38 members currently opting out of a mailed copy of the auction through the website, and I'm notifying 147 members when it is available electronically. The most visited parts of the website are the Clan badges, tartans, and Clan history pages. As I looked at reporting, I noticed that in addition to our normal methods of users coming to our site, I am seeing an increase in traffic coming from social media.
That's Mike and Darren's fault.
Huh?
We're in all these groups, Scottish groups on Facebook, and we keep posting things about.
Seriously.
When
Yeah.
people comment on something, well, what about the Murrays? And it's like, well, here.
There you go. In the past 90 days, we have received 72 visits from users that click through to the website directly from social media. There you go. I'm excited to see this, as it appears to be a direct result of the hard work Darren has put into building up our presence in this space. Way to go.
Huzzah.
This year I migrated our website hosting over to a new provider. This was a big move, but was needed due to challenges we had with the previous provider. I am happy to report that this was done with almost no downtime, and I've seen improvements both in the speed of the site, the site can be accessed, and hosting errors. Thank you for the continuing support each of you have provided. I look forward to another year of helping the Society with any website needs. Ryan Murray, Webmaster. And I think that's a kind of a good segue that Ryan has now completely configured the new voting software. So in the next couple weeks, you will be getting an email that provides a link that will send you to a voting site and allow you to go ahead and submit a vote for VP without having to cut up your option and stick it in the mailbox. So we should actually see a marked increase on the responses. And that, again, that'll come out in the next couple weeks.
Will you send out an email? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
It will be sent out in an email. So if you look in the option, there's a note in there to make sure that your email is up to date and that you're checking it to make sure that the email does not go into your spam folder. Okay. That's the Webmaster report. Okay, now down to council actions of 2022. So what have we actually been doing as a as a clan council? So this is what we did in 2022, not to date in 2023. So what we did last year was we set up and approved a service award program. For 50 years, we had people promoting the society, members pushing it, trying to gain new members, but there was no recognition of the work that they put into it. And so with a lot of research done by Joe Hollingsworth and Dan Burke and myself, we went through and all back publications and council minutes and so forth to find everybody that held a position within the society. And then based on the number of years, then we award a service medal. Now you'll see several of us here wearing these medals, and you'll notice the medal is the same and the ribbon is a different color. So when you see these, this is our service award. The ribbon tells you how many years we've been doing it. And so the medal was designed very much by Paul and the council, and came up with a ribbon scheme. And I can't remember exactly what the years were, but solid colors are kind of 5 through 10, and I'm wearing dirt.
I'm wearing a 20.
And so every year at every AGM, every time someone crosses over a new 5-year boundary, they will be given a new ribbon to indicate the amount of time they've been in. I like to affectionately call it the Slow Learners Award. But it is the society's way of thanking people for all the effort that they put in. Because without the officers, the appointed officers, the elected officers, it just wouldn't be here. And so my thank you to everybody. And everybody that's interested in helping as well. So you too can have one of these. We brought on board 2 new commissioners last year, one for Wyoming and one for Arizona. Arizona was Ginger and Justin Spalding for Wyoming. Unfortunately, we lost Justin this year because he moved down to Colorado. Last year, we also approved to have Barrett as our featured guest at the 2022 AGM, and so we brought her in from California on her way to Scotland to compete to be our guest at the AGM. We also approved an official position of assistant commissioner to recognize those people that even though they're not the lead, they spend all their time in the tents helping the commissioner to put on tents and to get things done. So we now have an officially recognized assistant commissioner. Now, to make sure that we get good quality commissioners, we also put together guidelines and steps that people have to go through to actually become a commissioner. We have had numerous people say, you know, I'm all excited about this and I want to be a commissioner. We don't have anybody here in Kalamazoo. And we would go ahead and say, okay, great, you're a commissioner. We'll send you the stuff, we'll give you the support, and then we never hear from them. And so we decided we would go through a vetting process. And it involves things like they have to personally attend a complete setup, attendance, and tear down of a tent for a festival. They need to know what's involved. They need to come to a commissioner's roundtable to see what it's like when all the commissioners get together. They need to come to a council meeting and see what the business side of the council entails. And so after they've gone through all of that stuff and put up with us for a couple years, then we'll say, okay, if you're still interested, you are a commissioner. And we've had 3 commissioners go through the vetting process so far.
Alaska, Montana.
Oh, Montana, Arizona.
Arizona.
And, well, Justin also went through it, but he relocated. We're still going to cover Cheyenne together. So.
Yeah. Maybe North Carolina soon.
Yeah?
He's meeting with somebody in North Carolina, Grandfather Mountain.
Oh, cool. So with this process, it may seem a little slow, but what we're looking for is people with a slow burn. You know, they're steadily interested in it, not the hot, I'm at the festival and the Murrays aren't there, so I'll do it. And then when it comes time for them to do it, it's, I can't make it. And so, so far, the whole program has been successful. And so if anybody is interested in it and you want to find out what it's about, let us know. And we'll get you involved. You'll see all the background, you'll participate, and before anything official is done, you'll know 100% of what you're getting yourself into. Okay. Let's see, we also authorized the printing of the handouts that go out to the commissioners. other than attending the games, the next biggest expense that the commissioners had was printing out the pamphlets and everything that we hand out. So we have 3 standard pamphlets that we send out at the games all the time, the Klan history, the tartans, and the badges and heraldry. We now provide those to the commissioners. And that is a big expense when you think you go down to Kinko's or Office Max or Office Depot and get them printed off for 90 cents a copy. That gets a little expensive when you're handing out 30 or 40 or 50 of these in a season. And so the Klan has taken on supporting that particular cost. We also approved putting our money where our mouth is. We donated $1,500 to the Juniper Fund last year. That was out of our surplus budget. That's money that through commissioners sucking up costs themselves and through donations, etc., we gave the society's money to the Juniper Fund. And as a group, just a little quick history of Juniper Fund. The society is not currently a 501c3. What that means in ordinary terms is we are not a federally recognized charity. So if you want to give us $1,000, you can only claim the tax reduction of 50% of that as a nonprofit fraternal organization. As a charity, a 501c3, you get to deduct 100% of it. It also has a lot of impact to businesses when the Klan has expenses and we want to purchase things. Charities get price breaks that nonprofits do not. So we're just treated like any other organization or group. If we go into a major hotel chain and say that we're a charity having an event, they give us different pricing than just a simple group that would be coming in. So there are a lot of advantages to becoming a 501c3. So if you want to give money and donate it to the Juniper Fund, that's why you go directly to the BCCF website to donate money directly there. They are managing our Juniper Fund as a 501c3 managing fund. You get 100% of your donation that way. Segueing into the last bullet, we are in the process of filing for a 501c3 on the grounds of an educational organization. And this is what we do with our tents. We spend hours and hours educating people on heraldry, Scottish history, everything involved with Scottish heritage. And it's not just the Murrays that we educate. We spend more time sending people to other tents than we do at our own tent. But when we do find somebody that's interested, watch out. We spend a lot of time with them and get them involved in all the nuances of their own personal Klan history. But we do it on an educational basis. So we're constantly filling people's brains with answers to questions, and if we don't have the answer, we will find what the answer should be. So that is in the works. If we're lucky, there will be an announcement in the next auction that we're actually a 501c3, keeping your fingers crossed. But if that doesn't work, then the government may decide it's going to go the slow route with us, and we may not find out until sometime next year. The group that we are going through to get the 501c3 is confident that we will be measured in weeks as opposed to months. So stay tuned. and hopefully soon will actually be a full-blown charity. This has been in the works now for 17 years, I think. The first time it was announced as an item was in Greenville, South Carolina. Yes, sir.
Are there other plans that do the same thing? Like, are recognized as charities?
There are other clans that are recognized as charities. I'm not sure exactly which ones are there as an educational basis. I do know of other clans that have attempted it and been rejected because they had no foundation. They could say, well, we put up tents, but they had nothing to support it. When that does take place, what it means is we can take contributions directly, and we can also then pass them on to Juniper Fund, and people can donate directly to the clan and get full charitable donation benefit on their personal taxes.
Even membership dues.
Membership dues, yes. So you will be able to deduct your membership dues on your taxes. And so, and what it also means is that people that go specifically to a game to run a tent can also now start taking hotel, meals, mileage, everything that is done because you are working the tent can now become a tax write-off. And so there are a lot of benefits. Printing costs all go at charitable organization rates, not private rates. So there's a lot of benefit over and above just simple donations. And so there will be, if we become a 501c3, there will be, are you working the tent? And if you are, everything that you spend to get there, to run it while you're there, if you keep track of that, you can donate it as an expense back to the charity. And that becomes a tax write-off. And so for it may not sound like a whole lot for a single game, but when you go and you're doing half a dozen games, when you're doing an AGM and you're sponsoring it, and you're doing a lot of travel back and forth, it adds up. And so it is quite a big deal to actually become a 501c3. It used to be nothing more than going to the IRS and checking a box saying I want to be a 501c3, and they said, okay, fine. Now it is a long drawn out process, and they reject more than they accept. And so we've been very cautious, and this is the reason for the involvement of the Berks County Charitable Foundation, because they are accepted. We wanted people to be able to donate money and get full benefits for their donation. And so they manage all of that on our behalf. Now, since we have been the supporting and the origin, etc., we get to take credit for everything that we've done on behalf of the BCCF. And that has become a foundation for us becoming a charitable organization in and of ourselves. So not just tents, but we're giving money away and supporting dancers and pipe bands and historical foundations. So we have a proven track record of doing education-based things. And so it'll be very hard to not give it to us. So, all right. Okay. So, next year the AGM is in Victoria, British Columbia. For those that don't know where that is, that's across the bay from Seattle. Sorry, Bill, if that's too general a description, but it's that part of the country, Pacific Northwest. Vancouver, yep. Gorgeous part. It's a vacation destination. I was there 10 years ago. Has it been 10? when this gentleman first came up to me and asked the question, why should I join? First time anybody ever asked me that. I must have answered it correctly because he's a VP now. Okay. Following that, in 2025, we will be in Jacksonville, Florida. So we're kind of as far apart as we can get, going from the northeast or northwest to the southeast. Following that in 2026, literally last week, I got a call from our commissioner in Tennessee that we have been invited to be honored clan in Tennessee. But we have also been invited to other locations to be honored clan. So we're looking at possibly either Cleveland or Tennessee. So obviously we like to move the AGM around so that we can have as many local members attending an AGM as possible. And so we haven't been in the central U.S. Probably since we held it in Tennessee last time, which about 18 years ago. So keep your eyes posted on the auction. We'll have the full schedule out as soon as it's approved. However, we do have the next 2 years locked in. Speaking of honored clan, in 2025, there's a festival, the New Hampshire Games, which was actually founded by a Murray member. Our membership number 3, Evelyn Murray, was one of the founding members of the New Hampshire Games. And we will be an honored clan there in 2025. We may be down in Florida for the AGM, but I encourage anybody and everybody to try and make it up to the Loon Mountain Festival in New Hampshire if you can. So it will be a busy year in 2025. So that's where we are on the AGMs. Now, I'd like to go ahead and open up the floor. We've gone over a lot of information. Does anybody here have any questions, comments, or anything that they'd like to present at the AGM?
Any questions from the live stream?
So I haven't seen any questions from online, but we have, at one point we had 7 viewers from, I'm seeing Colorado, Florida, Canada, and then there's a small country to the east, Scotland, I think I'm pronouncing that correct? I think we have someone watching from Scotland, so really appreciate that. But yeah, thanks to everybody for tuning in.
I get stronger as you go down. Okay, well, no questions?
Would be interested in knowing how I, as a new member, can help besides attending local games. That's one question.
Oh, okay. As a new member, one is keeping in constant contact with your local commissioner. Anytime a Scottish event comes across your plate, check with your commissioner. If you don't have a commissioner, then check with your regional rep, and we can get you in contact with other local members. And knowledge is king. If everybody knows that there's going to be a Burns dinner, then if you go and say, okay, everybody, there's going to be a Burns dinner, is anybody going? Then you can all go and stick together as the Murray Enclave when you go to that event. So otherwise, we're talking about supporting questions. It doesn't have to be just the commissioner that puts on a tent. All you have to do is keep your commissioner or your regional rep in the loop and say, I'd like to represent the clan at a game or a festival, or I'd like to walk in the parade. Any problem if I go up, and I carry the Murray banner through the St. Patrick's Day parade? Great. The only way you're going to grow in size is through exposure. And so, as an ordinary member, you join in with the local St. Andrew's Society, Caledonia Society, whatever the Scottish or Celtic society is in your area, and build your own presence up there. You don't necessarily have to take charge, but just your own presence is enough to spread word that, oh, there's other Murrays here, and they will gravitate. And that's how most of us really got involved.
Wearing something with Murray on your shirt, and people will come up to you every year.
Absolutely.
If you build it, they will come.
Yes. If you wear it, they will ask. So, as a regular member, yes, attending as many Celtic events as you can. Again, you don't have to put up a tent, but just your mere presence, you'll get to know people better. Join the local societies so that you're aware of what the events are. And you'd be surprised at the number of events there are.
Website is another place to find Murray tents at, updated on the website.
Yep. Make sure that as a new member that you are on the website and that your contact information is up to date. So your email is up to date, etc. And information will find its way to you. If it doesn't find it to you quickly enough, again, check with your commissioner, check with your regional rep. Lacking that, give me a call. I'd be more than happy to let you know what's going on and get you in contact with the right people. Okay. Any other questions? Oh yeah, go for it. Oh, why didn't I do your report?
I was going to ask about that.
Well, maybe he could just give it.
He's not on wrong mic.
Be all right. I'm not going to go through the whole thing anyway.
Okay. Real quick, this is Darren Yon, our social media manager. He's the one that's putting this live stream together and running our Facebook and Twitter and all the other electronic presence we have short of the website. So our compatriot between Ryan and Darren here, we have our CTOs here. So go for it.
So I'll be brief. I won't go through my entire report, but I presented to the council. As this is a newly created position, I put together a social media strategy, which anybody is interested, just reach out. Be happy to share that. So I won't go into too much detail, but I will take a moment to thank Anna, my commissioner, for supporting me and getting involved in Georgia, like we were just talking about, how to get involved, get with your commissioner. And then, of course, JD originally gave me a chance to try this out, and then the council, of course, has given me the chance to work on this. Really enjoyed it. I really appreciate all the support I've been getting, especially this lady here, Michaela, like she was saying. It's not just the work I put in for the Facebook group, but she helps reaching out to all these other groups that are out there. And you have random people asking, well, what about Mike Tartan? I think it's Murray. And one of us is out there on the internet in the strange corners that we find each other. One of us has answered it, and it's really great to have that support. And then, but one of the things I will highlight from the social media strategy is how I do look to get some help from commissioners to set up more regional and state Murray Facebook groups, because that's going to help foster exactly what you're touching on, maybe a Burns night or a parade, getting those local events together. Anna down in Georgia does a really good job with her page, so go touch base with her as well as an opportunity. That's really all I'll cover. Again, there's more detail in here, and then this isn't so much new, but just kind of to whet your beak. Coming up in a couple months, I'll try to be putting together a fundraiser, an effort for us to support the Andrew DeMurray project over in Scotland, which is now the Guardians of Trust in Scotland. They're trying to build a statue of Andrew DeMurray and William Wallace. Most people have heard of one of those two gentlemen. They're trying to fix that so that they know both of the stories, including Andrew DeMurray. So I hope we'll be able to support that, and I've already spoken with the council, and they're very supportive so far. So I look forward to being able to share that. But Thank you, everybody. And everybody online as well. There's other people. Thank you for pointing out the question that came up. But we've even got a couple more followers from Alaska and someone else from Florida as well. So thank y'all.
Oh, that's great. So any other questions come in that you saw? Nope. All right. So that being said, no more questions. I will ask to draw this to a conclusion. So can I get a motion to adjourn 2023 AGM?
So moved.
Paul had his hand up first, but I need a second.
I'll second it.
You're too slow. All right. So 2023 AGM is now concluded. Thank you, everybody, and online, appreciate you joining.
And come back later this evening to see the beginning of our banquet. I believe around 6 o'clock is when we're going to get started. Or 6:30.
6:30.
6:30. All right, we'll see you then.